Yeah. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I was going to ask how you're doing, but the answer seems pretty obvious considering the brand name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, thanks.
How did you come up with that Good Thanks name?
It was when we were setting up the brand. I was living in Australia for 2 years. And then,
we made a big list.
yeah, we were working on a business plan, and before we had a name, and that was called Brain Fart Surfboards, but that was more like a hobby thing.
It was funny though, but
Yeah, it was.
we really thought, okay, maybe a little bit more professional would be nice.
Yeah.
But nothing like too like all the surfboard brands, they all go like just letters like THD or HAW or like there's a little bit, that's too much of like a, I don't know, I feel like that's like a sports equipment brand.
Yeah.
More than we feel that surfing is
very shaper focused, I reckon.
Yeah.
But so we made a big list of lots of different words and nonsense words. And then this morning I was driving on my long commute to the shaper's place where I was working, and I kept on hearing, "How are you going? Yeah, good, thanks. How are you? Yeah, good, thanks."
On the radio.
Yeah. And I thought that was such a nice, friendly thing to say, and everybody could relate.
Yeah.
So I wrote it down on the list, and then it kept on being in the back of my head. And then you read it.
I read it. I thought it was funny because it's just like a weird phrase, and there's a comma. There's a comma in between.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, it stands out. It's not like you said, like the 3-letter engineering sports brands.
Yeah, like Jurriaan and Antoine Surfboards, JAS or something.
Yeah. JAS Tech.
Yeah.
Well, we can still change it. This doesn't work out.
Yeah. So I usually start with a quick surf personality test. You can collaborate on it if you want to, or you can answer one each.
But see if we can find a collective.
Yeah, I think we're a bit different.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. It's pretty easy. You get 2 options, and you have to choose.
Okay.
One of them. So first one: right-hander or left-hander?
Left-hander.
I don't care.
You don't care.
No.
You go.
Do I have to pick one?
Yeah, you can pick 2 if you want to. Are you goofy or regular?
I'm regular.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's many like there's no only beach breaks around here, but somehow they always end up having a better left. So we surf a lot of lefts here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, my backside is pretty good. I'd say.
Would you prefer to have it that way? Keep surfing lefts, or do you miss the right-handers?
Well, I like surfing right because then I have a little bit more to practice. Like I feel like my front side can have a bit more practice than
you have nothing to practice anymore on your backside.
Well, like
backhand is perfect.
I feel like you have to go a little bit like progress your front side and your backside a little bit. But now I'm kind of happy with my backside surfing. So
okay.
Now I'm every time there's a right-hander coming, then I'm like, oh, there's a right-hander, and then afterwards like, oh shit, should have gone left.
Yeah. All right. So the next one: longboard or shortboard?
Tough one.
Shortboard.
Clear for you. Not so clear for me. I like riding a lot of different things. I like shortboarding. I like longboarding and everything in between. And for me, it's part of the fun of surfing is discovering all the different shapes. And
Sure.
Yeah. So there was a period when I was only longboarding. And I really enjoyed that. But then I thought it was getting a little bit boring maybe. So I just started doing other stuff and no longboarding anymore. But I think it's good to have a balance.
Yeah.
It's very hard to pick one.
Pick the mid length.
most things that we shape are like in between somewhere.
Yeah.
We don't sell a lot of real longboards. We don't sell a lot of real shortboards. But we sell a lot of grovelers, fish, mid-length, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So this one, beach break or point break?
I like a good beachy.
Yeah.
I like a good point too, but no, if I have to pick one, it's going to be beach break actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Beach break it is.
Yeah.
Okay, a last quick one. Dawn patrol or a sunset session?
Sunset.
That was quick.
Tough one. I think dawn patrol.
Before the crowds.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it gives like the extra satisfaction of getting up super early, and then it's still cold, and then it's gives you extra points for the session.
Yeah.
I have the feeling that a lot of people, especially when you're in France or places where it's crowded, then all the people, they think they have to get up super early. So then if you get up to the beach and you get like first light, and then there's already like 20 people in there.
Yeah.
And then with the sunset session, then at one point everyone's like, oh yeah, like I can go out now, and then it's still like a half an hour of light.
Yeah.
And then it's getting less and less people, and I think it's nice.
Yeah, the days are pretty short up here for the most of the year, so we have to be on it.
Sunset session is around 3.
So sometimes your dawn patrol is your sunset session.
Yeah, they get mixed up. Okay, so maybe two a bit harder ones. Maybe shaping a surfboard for your mate or surfing a board shaped by your mate. What's the biggest enjoyment?
Oh, shaping a surfboard for my mate.
Surfing a surfboard shaped by my mate.
All right, so you can combine. You can do one for your. All right, so this one, the last one, escaping winter for good waves in crowded warm water, or staying home and surfing uncrowded crap all winter.
I go for the first option.
Yeah, me too. I don't like crowds, but I also don't like big flat spells and cold.
No, it's been up here at least. It's been a really slow start of the year and the winter. Have you had the same experience?
Yeah,
it's been terrible.
Yeah.
What's it normally like this time of year? Is it good season?
Yeah, usually it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's nice that the weather's getting a bit warmer and you get a bit more consistent swells.
People usually say that the autumn is the best, which actually is the case. But for the rest of the year, I don't know. Like it's, I feel that it's super random. Sometimes it can be pumping in June, and then the next year there's like no swell for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like this year has been weird, super weird, like long flat spells. I mean, we don't even get ground swell, but it's been just dead, just dry, sunny, no wind, nothing.
At least it's sunny.
Yeah. But you're in Rotterdam, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that where you grew up and where you're from?
For me, yes. Yeah. I grew up here and lived here most of my life. Then moved to Delft, which is a university city close to Rotterdam.
Yeah.
That's where we met, because that's where we both were studying. I was studying mechanical engineering and you were doing industrial design. We were living in the same house for a long time as students, and then afterwards I moved back to Rotterdam.
So where's the main surf zone for you guys? Is it, sorry about the pronunciation, but is it Scheveningen? How do you say
There is Scheveningen. Like it's a little bit of a cluster of cities down here. So there's Den Haag, The Hague, which has Scheveningen, but it's a bit shitty to get to because you have to go through the city.
Oh, okay.
And so unless you're living in the city, it's usually a bit hard to get to, and it's very crowded because it's a city on the beach. But Rotterdam has its own beach, which is called Hoek van Holland. Hoek van Holland. and there's a new like you have the giant European harbor, and they built this massive extension of the harbor into the ocean, it's the North Sea, and which gives like a little bit of an island, so which is also quite a very good surf spot for.
Which is called the Maasvlakte.
The Maasvlakte, yeah.
All right.
But it's a bit far out because obviously it's only harbor, so there's not really much there except for like some oil refineries and and windmills, and it's a bit industrial.
It sounds like a pretty cool backdrop, though.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the most common surf spot from Rotterdam is definitely Hoek van Holland.
Yeah,
because you can even like it's you were saying it's Rotterdam's beach, but it's municipality of Rotterdam. It's not actually close to the city, but you can take a subway there.
Yeah, it's a subway going.
So that's like, what's that, 40 minutes by subway train, or you can easily drive there in like half an hour.
Yeah,
which is good.
Okay.
And then in between Hoek van Holland and Scheveningen, there's like a lot of different. It's basically one long beach. But what really stands out in the Netherlands is the surf spots that have like a pier that goes into the sea, and then usually some sand banks build up around it, and they hold the southwestern winds a bit away. So
because it's really exposed to wind and swell, I guess.
Most wind is like west or northwest, so usually it's onshore. But then there's these days where it either blows from the southwest, and then you can shelter behind the pier, or you get like a north swell coming from Norway with a north wind, and then you can go to the other side.
And it can get really glassy and offshore as well.
Yeah.
And we're forgetting one important surf spot, because that's the wave pool that we have in the city center nowadays.
I was going to ask you about that. That's pretty new. Like, it opened last year, right?
Yeah.
So have you tried it?
It's 5 minutes from here. Yeah, I actually surfed it 2 days ago.
Is it open year round?
It's open year round.
All right.
Except for when it's frozen.
Yeah.
And they did a month of a little bit of construction stuff.
Yeah, I think that was the plan. I don't think they're going to keep it open. But it'll be open most of the year. It's really cool. They have a bunch of different settings.
I mean, it looks really good and super like versatile too, from the easiest beginner waves to barreling waves almost, right?
Yeah.
It's almost barreling.
Almost
small barreling. Well, it's a
kind of barreling.
I've seen people in there.
Yeah.
So how does it work? I mean, at first I thought it was a free-for-all because it's right in the middle of the city. But you pay for an hour and you get 10 waves or so?
Around 10 to 15 waves. If you're lucky and you don't have many people in your session, and you can get 18. Up to 20.
Yeah.
Or I had I think 22 waves, because then if there's not too many people, then you have enough time to paddle back.
Wow.
The waves come in sets. And they can have, if you're really lucky and really fit, then you can have 2 waves in a set.
Yeah.
But it's tiring.
22 waves that's a lot in an hour. The legs are burning.
Yeah, but it's basically just a canal, which they dug out, and then they made like a new construction, all concrete, built a reef, built like the wave making chambers. They push the waves out, and then you can enter through a little building that they built like on top of the water, and then that's where you can access the wave. So it's not really easy to access the wave any other way.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
It looks really cool. I think it's the same technology as in Palm Springs, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Correct.
So it's Rotterdam and the desert.
A bit smaller.
A bit smaller.
Yeah.
And it's is it air technology? It's not like mechanical.
It's a vacuum, and then they press the wave out. Yeah.
Okay. So
so they have different chambers, and then they can all suck up the water and then push it back out. So they can tweak the settings. of the timing and how much water is being pushed out.
All right.
So that gives all the different settings and gives that they're make sure that they're tweakable, which is good. Sometimes necessary.
Have you?
Like it's not the craziest wave pool in the world, but I think it's the cheapest wave pool in the world.
Yeah,
it's not really cheap, but I think what is it, like 50, 60 euros for an hour? Which is quite on the low end nowadays.
Yeah,
and it's a short wave. Like there's it's really fun. It's really fun to go in there. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe if you look at some videos and you don't see very good pro surfers ripping on it, then you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's a little bit boring. But once you're in there, then it's really fun.
Yeah.
And once it gets up to the barrel setting, I think is quite nice.
Have you tried other wave pools in the world?
Yeah, I surfed the one in Melbourne a bunch of times when I was living there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the urban surf. And you tried that one as well?
I surfed that one when I was over there. And then I surfed the one in Bristol.
Oh, okay. So how would you say this one compares to, because that's a waveguard on both of those, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it's quite similar.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
For me, compared to the one that I surfed in Bristol.
I think the waveguard is really...
It's more powerful.
It's a better wave, it's a longer wave, it's a better wall.
Yeah, but I was actually, yesterday or 2 days ago, I surfed the barrel setting for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually quite surprised how much power it was in there.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't surf the other wave pools that much, so I think if you go to the wave garden and they really pump it up like max, then there's definitely a lot more power in there.
Yeah, but then
the wave is longer.
You can waste the wave too, like wiping out. You don't want to do that. Like you want to be sure you make it, because one wave is like, I don't know, 10 euros more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one in Munich is definitely the new one.
Yeah, the new one is 150 euros per hour.
For the A-frame.
Wow. Yeah. So how does it work? Do all the surfers during that hour have to decide on the setting, or can you get like, here comes my wave, I want a barrel? Or
no, you buy a different specific time slot.
Okay.
Which is pre-planned for a certain setting.
Yeah.
All right. So how often do you go there? Like a couple times a week?
No.
We're not earning enough money yet to do that.
But they have.
I think I went around 6 times now.
Yeah, a bit less for me.
6 or 7 maybe. Yeah.
It's
since last summer.
Yeah. I wish we had one up here, but I think the season is too short. They have to do it indoor or something.
Yeah.
But Switzerland could do it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool that...
But the days are longer.
Yeah, that's right. It's a cool thing that it's in the middle of the city, because you don't have to hang out at the wave all the time.
No.
And you can...
And there's a lot of bystanders.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in there and if it's a nice day in the weekend and everyone goes to the city and you're like in this pool and you're sitting down there on the water and there's like these walls around it and there's only people standing around. It's like you're sitting in a pit with a lot of people. So a little bit of an arena.
Yeah, get nervous. It sounds like Eisbach, but a better wave, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Although I haven't surfed the Eisbach, but
I've only seen it. But that's a totally different thing, I think, than the wave. Yeah, I hope I get to try that someday. They were talking about building one up here, but I don't know. Like the war and the inflation and COVID and stuff happened. So
yeah, that's tough. But you're welcome to when you come over here. We'll take you there.
Thanks. So. Getting back to the Good Thanks brand, we were talking about the name, and you said you do like in between shapes, and they all have really cool and funky names. The models too, like the Favirut, the Little Bob, and the Fickle Pickle. How important is it, do you think, for lack of a better word, the vibe of a surf brand?
Yeah, it's important.
Very important, I think.
Yeah, because now we also did a little bit of rebranding because we started doing more environmentally friendly surfboards, and then together with our branding designer, we came up with friendly surfboards.
Oh yeah.
And so now we're Good Thanks Friendly Surfboards. And I think the whole idea behind surfing is that it's supposed to be fun and it's basically we're just a big toy factory, right? We're making toys for in the sea.
Yeah.
So yeah, why be too serious about it? And
it's all about fun. Everybody is doing, like, everybody who likes surfing just likes it because it's fun.
Yeah. And we don't like the whole serious like there's this very masculine, very
powerful, aggressive,
vibe sometimes in surfing. I see it also a lot in Europe, and I don't know. We're not really too fond of that.
No, we don't identify as a brand with that vibe.
Yeah, so we try to a little bit of a anti sound in that, so make it a little bit more chill and funny and nice and
accessible. Yeah.
Accessible, yeah. That's what we want to.
Yeah, I think it's really like appealing, and it's different too. And it's a niche. I think that's a good thing. Like everyone's doing their thing. You guys are doing something else, you know?
We're just doing our thing, basically. So it's also like all these things come a bit natural. Like how we came up with brain fart surfboards. It's just like, maybe we took ourselves not serious enough.
That was the whole thing.
But yeah, like make it a little bit more easy.
So
and that's more like our thing, like the way that we are and the reason why we surf.
So it's kind of a reflection of yourselves. The
brand.
I
That's right.
think so. Yeah,
I think the brand. We also, when we were rebranding, like we were like, it's very important that the brand reflects us, because otherwise we're just gonna create a new entity, which I don't know.
I think it's also it's easy to get lost in all the seriousness of building a brand and a factory, and working on that. You can we definitely take it very serious that way. We work very hard, and we are not earning a lot of money. So it's good to remind yourself every now and then that it's supposed to be fun, or at least it is fun. But to keep yourself reminding of, we're doing it because we love surfing, and we love everything that has anything to do with board design and board building. And that helps.
Do you have jobs on the side, or is it a full-time gig for both of you?
It's a full-time gig now.
It's full-time, and then on the side we have a few little things.
It always like that. So it's like 150% of the time.
Sometimes.
Sometimes,
we try not to.
We had some issues with that, but we try to take everything a little bit more chill. And you can do what you can do, but don't rush things too much. And if there's not enough time to do something, then we can also do it tomorrow. So
it's so
usually.
I think it's easy, and it's a risk you get burned out on something you really love, because you don't. It's not work. It's just, I love doing this. I can do it forever. Oh shit! I forgot to eat. So
that happens.
And then of course there's also a lot of other things that are always come with having a business, which are not very nice to do. But you have to do them anyways.
I think it's very nice that we are doing it together, because we can check in with each other. We often do. It's a bit easier to stay grounded that way, I think, to not get lost too much.
So how's the shaping working? Do you shape together, or is one of you more of the head shaper of the brand?
Yeah, so Antti is the head shaper.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to say about it. Like, where should I start? The shaping now changed a little bit because we obviously started hand shaping, but because like we're both nerds, we studied at the technical uni, and we really like when our boards are exactly the way that we want them to be, and then we can say something about them and then learn something from them. Like in the beginning we did the same work, like we were both shaping and both glassing boards. Jurri got a little bit more experience on glassing the boards over the years, and I was just very interested in the conceptualization of the shape, and how you get the feeling of a board, because it's so complicated. That was very interesting for me, so I dug a little bit more into that, and then we started like from that I got to this point where I felt, wow, I'm actually just imagining a board, I make it in the computer, and then I'm just trying to be a CNC machine, because I'm just measuring everything 3 times over to make sure that I make it exactly the way that I want it to be. And then now last year, when was it? Beginning of last year, we got our CNC machine.
We started maybe a little bit, a step back is that we started shaping 13 years ago, building boards 13 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And that was together
in your parents' basement.
As a lot of people do.
Just from scratch, no knowledge, just learning by doing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of help.
Yeah, people helped us. Some other board builders in and around us, they helped us.
I think we got a very good start, like with you working at the factory in Scheveningen. And I think we got very quickly. We got up to a point where
the results were acceptable.
Where they were pretty acceptable, yeah. Still, if I look back at the boards that we made, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago or something, then of course there's flaws in there, but that I didn't see back then. But if I look at it now, then I'm like, oh yeah, well, I can. There's a lot of starting shapers that are making worse boards than I did back then. I think.
There's still an idea behind it if you look back at those boards.
Yeah.
But so we were shaping as a hobby for a very long time. We were interested in trying other shapes, in trying different glassing techniques, and just figuring out everything about shaping, board building, and surfing those boards as fast as we could with limited resources and limited time. But that developed more and more from a hobby into like a passion, and then in the end it turned into our full-time jobs. But we did have a lot of help and experience at other shapers. So that's how we got to the point that we were starting in the factory that we are in now as Good Thanks Surf. And that started out hand shaping and glassing here in house. We were doing EPS epoxy boards only. And after what you were explaining, you were shaping on the computer, then replicating that by hand. So you got pretty good at hand shaping, but you got mostly good at replicating your computer shape because you wanted to conceptualize and visualize on the computer anyways. And that was so that sort of went hand in hand with the way that we were thinking towards the future. When I was living in Australia, I worked at a board builder, and I got in contact with Verger Construction, which is the construction that we're doing now, which is a more sustainable way of producing boards.
Mm.
And we sort of figured out 2 years ago that we wanted to go that direction. And for that, first of all, we needed a big CNC.
Yeah.
So
that's a big investment too, right?
It was a big investment. Yeah. So,
we applied for a couple of subsidies here, and there's like this province subsidy that helps people to innovate, basically. And there's another one that is more social and sustainable oriented here in the city. And then we got those, and that helped us to get the CNC.
And that was like the interim part of board building, because then we could use the CNC to shape the boards that you had already visualized in the computer, which made it a lot faster, and a lot more reliable, I think. You're a good shaper, but if you have a CNC that can just replicate a board exactly a couple times in a row if you want, and make minor adjustments.
Yeah, and it also changed the way how we shape boards, because if you make a board in the CNC, or even if you start from a blank, which is also basically a pre-shape already.
Yeah, they have sort of a rocker already, right?
You use the rocker of the board, of the blank, and you shape it down the way. It's not like you starting from a random block of foam like Leonardo da Vinci did when he was creating his sculpture.
Shaping boards.
I think that's a whole different game.
Yeah. But were you reluctant to taking the step into CNC world? Going from hand shaping, or was it the other way around, like you were frustrated hand shaping?
Well, I wouldn't say I was frustrated hand shaping, but I think if you have a system with which you shape your boards, after a while it becomes a bit boring for me, at least, because I'm just replicating the thing that I know that needs to be done, and then it just becomes ambacht, like
or skilled labor.
Just skilled, just labor. And but taking all the knowledge you get from hand shaping and you bring that to the computer shaping, then that's extremely helpful. And then you get, I needed quite some time to get adjusted to computer shaping, like all the way, because you don't want to do a lot of hand shaping afterwards to get your lines smooth and to get everything smooth. So we kind of had to develop a school of shaping on the computer, which took quite some time. But I think we got it pretty dialed, and we got some help.
Australia from Luca, Babel Surfboards.
Luca and Maurice. He already did hand shaping since the 80s. I think. Machine shaping.
Yeah, he was one of the first.
Maurice Cole.
What's the biggest challenge in shaping the board in the computer?
In the computer?
What can go wrong, so to speak?
A lot, actually. The first thing is, like, if you look on a little board on a screen, and you CNC it, then it's totally different. It's like when you go to the paint shop and you look at these little squares with the colors, but then you're gonna go home and you paint your whole kitchen in that color, and then it looks a little bit different. That's a
good comparison. Like, you get the scale wrong because it's so tiny.
Yeah, it's weird, and you need to kind of. You can't really trust on your gut feelings, and I think as how many people are hand shaping, They really have this with, especially shaping hundreds of boards, you get a feeling from what you have in your hands, how it feels, and on the computer, that feeling is just dissolved.
Yeah.
So you can't really. You have to look. Okay, this is now so much wide, and this is this thickness, and here the curve is like that, and here's the curve like that. So that's already.
You need to develop a feeling.
You need to develop a whole new feeling of what you have in front of you, and it's more based off logic than of I think this shape feels really good. That what most hand shapers have.
Yeah.
And on the computer, it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, like it looks good, but then you get it off the CNC and you're like, oh, maybe this is a little bit big here. And
So did you
Sometimes
take? Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to see because on the computer you like in real life you can just look at a surface and feel how it's going in 3D.
Yeah.
And on the computer you're mostly looking at a combination of lines that you know how you want them to be, sort of like.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to see how the pieces in between are blended. So it's very hard to see a certain deck curve, something like that.
Yeah. The computer makes extrapolations. So you tell it in the front the board needs to have this shape, and in the back it needs to have that shape. And then in between those two spaces, the computer is gonna imagine what the rest of the board should look like.
Yeah, it's like animation.
Yeah.
You take the start point and end point, and it blends.
End point. But what does the computer do with it, and does that even make sense?
Yeah.
So
usually not.
Yeah. Did you take measurements? Like if you had a rail that you were super happy with from hand shaping, did you like measure it and put it in the computer?
Yeah.
So like translate the feeling?
Yeah. I think that's the only way to teach yourself what your surfboard should look like.
Yeah.
And get and create your own vocabulary in how you want to talk about the board and know what a board is going to be like, which is really hard because there's so many little intricacies that you could say something about. But yeah, I think the more you do it, the more that you look at other boards, and also the more you measure other boards, the more you see things coming back and things start making sense.
It's such a a web as well. Like if you pull this string, this one goes up, and if you add something there, you have to remove something over there, and then you put the fins on, and it just turns everything upside down.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also have the surfer that just has an opinion.
How are you good with getting input like that, or do you let me do my thing?
Oh no, I think the input is the most important.
Yeah.
So when we have people coming over here, then we just want to start with like usually people come over here and they don't know what they want. Like they know, I don't really like my board. Please tell me what I should have. Okay. And then you need to ask people these questions,
which is a great starting point.
Which is actually a great starting point. But then we start with questions like, why do you surf? Like, what do you like about surfing? And which is really general, but then you can get an understanding about where a person comes from and what that person wants to achieve being in the ocean. Like, it's a very different approach from someone that wants to progress and learn a lot, and another person that just thinks like, oh, this is my free time and I'm just gonna be here to chill and then catch a wave and be happy. Like, that's a very different mindset, and but that also has a lot of implications for the actual board design.
Yeah. So
that's the starting point. And starting from there, then you can go down and you can see like, okay, what are your ambitions, and show me video of how you're surfing the current boards that you have, and from there you go on.
Yeah, and I think over the years, we had a lot of these different stories and a lot of different feelings that we were chasing ourselves.
Yeah.
And we've been trying different things, and all those different things sometimes ended up in being nothing, and sometimes they ended up being a board. And now I think we have a decent range of boards that all have very specific feelings that cater to very different needs or wants of a surfer.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice starting point. So if someone tells their story, then we often have a good idea of all right, this board might be suitable to you, and we can tweak it in this way to make it even more suitable to you.
Yeah, like in surfing, there's this big, like, I would almost say like a 3-dimensional space of things that you would want during surfing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then in every area you need to have a board design.
Oh, yeah.
Like a board that's a little bit for this person, for this kind of situation, and a little bit of here. And then sometimes a person is like, oh, I want this. And you're like, shit, we don't have a board that sits in that area. And then we're like, okay, let's think about it. And then come up with a new design and then make a few prototypes.
Yeah.
Is that your ambition to fill all those holes, like a board for every occasion?
Not necessarily. I think we still have to like the boards.
Yeah. For example, I never surfed at Nazaré or something. So I wouldn't know how to make a 12-foot gun or a 10-foot gun. And I don't really have the ambition to surf that kind of wave. And yeah, I don't know, if someone comes to me saying, okay, I want a 9-footer for Puerto Escondido, then I'm like, yeah, okay, well, check out this shape or check out this shape.
Yeah, that's good. But looking at the models, they look, and I think you say it on your website too, that they are for North Sea conditions. Some of them, at least.
Most of them, yeah.
But I mean, they don't look like the typical slow groveling board. They look like agile, I think.
I think from coming like that, the boards are often suited for the North Sea is not a strange thing, since we often surf in the North Sea, and that's what inspires us to build those kind of boards.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, we don't like slow boards. So we try to make them fun and loose and fast. And I think that's a feeling that a lot of people are chasing. It's nice to build a slow longboard.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to go too fast.
We're just not especially good at making slow, hard steer longboards that are really good for nose riding.
No, there's people that's much better at
There's
that.
people that are really good at that,
Yeah, but I mean, even if the waves are slow and lack energy, you need a really fast and like turny board to make something out of that short wave.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I guess that's the challenge, because groveler boards sometimes feel like sluggish, I think, when the waves get a bit steep and closing out. Would you agree?
Especially if they're really wide, they're hard to control. Yeah. It's so in the North Sea here, I think it's similar to where you're surfing. If there's a lot of wind swell, not a lot of ground swell, waves get really short and steep often. So you need to make the most out of the very limited time that you have. You need to get up and go as fast as you can.
Usually the waves are fast and small.
Yeah.
So you need to get up and go and make a lot of speed.
Yeah. Which one's the best seller out of your standard models?
Maybe you've seen it. It's the Not Too Bad.
Oh, is that the
Not Too Bad? It's like a bit bigger. It's like a mid-lengthy board. I think it appeals to a lot of people because it's just so chunky and big and easy to catch waves on.
Yeah, so basically it's our mini longboard, but it's still quite loose.
Yeah, the idea was or is to make a little bit bigger, wider mid-length, that's as agile as possible, like as loose as possible.
Yeah.
And it really works like that. And I think we also have test boards for that one. Every time people take that board and they're like, "Wow, this board!"
So fun.
Yeah, so fun.
Yeah,
It's
catches,
just a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy to catch waves on. You can walk. You can even like nose ride on it, do like 3 to 5s, but then you can still turn it quite hard from the back, and it appeals to a very wide audience. For a lot of people who are stepping down from a soft top and wanting a board that is a bit more agile, but maybe not a short board or a thruster. Or
what's the fin setup? Is that a single fin plus side bites, or is it quad or something?
yeah, it started out as a single fin. Then we found that it's a bit more versatile as a single fin plus side bites. So I actually only ride it as a single.
Okay.
But I know that a lot of people really enjoy having the possibility of chucking 2 more fins in and then being able to, like, it gets a bit more thrusterized, smaller center fin. So you can either use it to make some steeper drops or just have a different feel. Yeah.
What about the Favirut? Is that favorite in Dutch?
The favorite.
Yeah,
No,
It's just favorite written wrong.
I just once I wrote down an interview, like when I was interviewing someone about our boards or something, and then I just wrote super fast, and then I wrote favorite. My favorite board is blah blah or something, and then he named the board after my miss.
Then I read it. And it made me chuckle, so I thought it was a good name for a board.
And I called it like that.
Yeah, could you describe that shape? It looks pretty funny. Or like
This is very different from it's our other mid length that we have since a long time, where we feel that a lot of mid lengths nowadays are actually it's a bit changing now, I'd say. But originally, most mid lengths are designed for like good waves, like Morocco, Indonesia, like California, like big turns, like lots of speed, and the not too bad is a little bit the opposite of that. So that would spin a little bit more out on like big speed. And then we thought like the favorite should be maybe a little bit more on the for the better wave side, especially because we found that there is a big group of people that just come off not even a soft top anymore, but then they get like, I don't know, like an NSP or a Torque or something like big.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, I really want a shortboard. And then they buy a shortboard and then they can't surf on it. So we thought, okay, let's make a board that bridges that gap, but is also a little bit more fun and relaxing for like better surfers, for maybe less than perfect waves. To still have like that ability to go a little bit more vertical, but just makes everything a little bit more easy, more chilled, like easy entries, nice and stable lines, and also have like that side. So for the beginners, it's like not really beginners, but like intermediate is more like a stable shortboardy ride compared to like a big board.
But it's still a pretty flat rocker and kind of forgiving.
It definitely has some rocker. More rocker than like the more traditional mid length you were describing. Okay. So it's more like a shortboard kind of rocker actually.
It also has a little bit more like shortboardy rails, and everything is like a little bit more refined than on the most mid lengths.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you have a couple of different fishes too, like the fish, the ripper fish or something, and a little bob.
We have the Freddy fish and the shreddy fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the shreddy fish is obviously the most Dutchy North Sea board.
Freddy.
The Freddy. Oh yeah, sorry, the Freddy. Super fat whitetail. I always get it when other people are surfing longboards. Then I'm also out there just surfing that one.
Yeah. And you know that board through and through.
Oh yeah,
You've surfed it so much.
A lot.
Yeah.
And then the shreddy fish is it's a different fish. That would be more the California fish.
Okay.
Where you have like because the most waves that we have here are just like they come and they go whoop, and then they break, and then you have to do something in there.
Yeah.
But that's usually on the high tide, and then on the low tide you have the banks behind, and usually the wave comes, and then on the bigger days you can surf on low tide, and then it starts breaking a little bit in the back,
crumbling.
And that the idea was the other board, the shreddy fish, is more for that kind of slopey wave, like a small fish but still a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Even less rocker.
Yeah.
Super flat. Super
flat.
Yeah.
So the idea is just like making a short board with as little rocker as possible. For speed and just like bigger turns. Like it's a nice board for good waves also.
Yeah.
Like if it's the last time that I surfed it in the Netherlands, it was super clean, big like overhead day.
Wow.
And
which are rare.
And that's just like the perfect board because it's so fast.
Yeah.
And you get into the wave pretty easily, although the one that I surf is only like a 5'3".
And how big are you?
I'm almost 1.80 m and 73 kilos.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's a little bit on the small side for me.
A strong
Whereas
paddler.
I think I wouldn't surf it on days where I have to pedal hard.
Okay. You take what was it? The not too bad.
Yeah. They're not too bad. Yeah.
When the arms are tired.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, the favorite for that matter. Yeah.
The favorite would be like a good board to go anywhere.
It's a good travel board.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's 5 boxes. Am I right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we surfed it as thruster, quad, and twin.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Twin was like an experiment.
With big keels. It was super fun.
Yeah, we thought it wasn't going to work at all, but then it was super loose and fast and fun and slidey.
Yeah. That's fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Get the speed. So the place you're at right now is your shaping factory right behind you?
Yeah, correct.
And you have the setup with the CNC machine and a bunch of blanks right there?
It actually changed last November when we switched to the verdure construction.
Yeah.
So the workshop looks a little bit different now. We still have like the traditional shaping room with like the lights where you can see everything. But we also have we call it the board former. It's a machine that bends a flat piece of foam into the rocker shape of the board.
All right.
While gluing the rails in, and then when you take it out of the machine, the rocker is in there, which is completely new for us, but also in surfing.
Is that originating from the verdure?
Exactly.
Yes. Guys, okay, so maybe we should talk a little bit about that collaboration.
Sure.
You are, I don't know, are you like partnering with them, or are you selling their boards, or how does it work?
No, so we license the tech.
Okay.
So we bought the machine. So we have Verdure Construction and Verdure Surfboards in New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's led by Jack, and Jack has invented this construction way of building boards over the last 10 years. And we feel it's like the future of surfing because it's more sustainable, same weight as traditional PU boards, and much better flex, and for a comparable price. So we thought we are going to start this tech here because we need it in Europe, and we were talking to him a lot.
Yeah, when we saw that he was doing that, we were like, you got the opportunity from him that we could get the technology over here.
Yeah,
and then we were thinking, and we're like, okay, maybe it's stupid if we don't do it.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get to know the Verdure people? Or is it just one guy in New Zealand doing this?
It's one guy.
All right.
Well, it's mostly one guy. He's working together with a bunch of people, but it's mostly one guy who developed the tech.
All right.
I was working at Babel Surfboards in Turkey, in Australia, close to Bells Beach. And he was, they were getting a CNC. And there was a very specific CNC that you could build boards, but you could also use it to mill sheet material, like sheets of wood.
It's not surfboard specific.
No,
like veneers.
Yeah, or just like
any timber.
Normal CNC just has a table, and then you can cut out like cabinet doors or like any kind of shape. And then on the side, you can make a surfboard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he was getting that, and he saw that this guy, Jack in New Zealand, had a similar machine. So he contacted Jack to get a machine over there. And I helped build the CNC over there, and that was with Jack there. So Jack flew in from New Zealand to Australia, and we basically built with Babel Surfboards, built the CNC with 3 of us, which was a lot of fun, and we connected in a very good way. He's also an engineer and a surf nerd. And I saw what he was doing, so I had a lot of questions, and I was super inspired. And we kept in touch after that. And then before I came back to the Netherlands, my girlfriend and I did a little trip of New Zealand. And that was part of the reason of going to New Zealand was that I had to visit his factory in Wellington. And he let me, and we stayed there for a couple of days and saw the factory and the process, and I was like, wow.
Oh, you even helped build him some boards, like you set some boards and worked on it a little bit.
Yeah. That felt so good working with more natural materials such as cork and wood instead of sanding epoxy for 3 hours every time.
But it's an EPS blank, and you bend it, and you put. What are the rails made of?
It's like a bending plywood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is like when you shape a traditional surfboard, you start like with a big block, and then you take everything away that doesn't look like your surfboard, and then you put glassing around it, and then you're done basically. But in this technique, you start like building it up from the inside out.
Yeah, but in the end, we end up with a. So we're doing a life cycle analysis at the moment. We're still finishing that. So we're doing a bit. We've been doing big research to compare a traditional PU board with a Verdure construction board. And the preliminary results is that it's going to be like 50% better on CO2 equivalent, which is
that's pretty
a hell of a lot.
Yeah. 58, right? At least 58.
At least 50. Yeah.
And so less scrap material too, I guess. Less foam sanded away.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to work with.
Yeah, it's much better than wearing masks all day and putting on a suit for sanding, glassing, and epoxy.
Yeah.
So when you helped Jack shape in Australia, or in Wellington, did you pick it up quick, or was it a lot?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually, I felt it was pretty easy. He had a blank lying around there that had to be finished shapes. And those blanks, as he calls them, but they're more like very accurate pre-shapes. So you just have to finish shape them, but it's like the last couple of % of the shape. Yeah.
Just to get the lines from the CNC out, or?
No. So it's after that.
Oh, okay.
So you just have to blend everything, make the rails how you want them, shape the rails, and then finish sand the cork and the bottom smooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a very technical process, so
Yeah.
it's hard to not get into the specifics too much.
Yeah, it's not strange that Jack that it has taken him 10 years to develop this thing.
Yeah.
So you're the only guys in Europe doing this, but
Yes.
is there factories in overseas in America?
So he's got a factory in Wellington, and he's setting up a factory in Byron Bay in Australia, and also he's now looking in California to see if there are possibilities there. But we've got the exclusive rights for at least another 3 years to build these construction boards in the Netherlands or like in Europe. So that's cool and exciting.
Yeah.
Have you sold any of those boards yet, or just still getting started?
Yeah, we sold a couple. People are pretty excited, but we're trying not to oversell too many yet, as we're still figuring out the last small things in the process.
Yeah,
but I think we're getting there. This summer we should be fully up and running.
But it's getting quite a bit of hype. I saw Tom Curran riding one of those boards. And Steph Gilmore last year too, right?
Yeah. He made a Jack in Jack is the guy from Verger. He made a board for Steph Gilmore last year, and then she brought it over to Tom Curran, and then he was super hyped about it, and then she gave it to him.
He was giggling like a little girl.
Oh, it's the same board, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it gets passed around in the legend family.
Yeah. It's not a bad circle to be passed around. So Dave Resovich has been riding them, and he's pretty excited. But he was riding them after he did the stab recordings, so that was unfortunate.
Yeah,
there's
an Australian shaper. What's his name? Harrison Young, I think.
Harrison Young,
yeah. He's now full time working. He lives in Wellington, and he's working with Jack full time. So he does the most of the manufacturing. He does really nice edge boards.
Yeah,
they're super sick. Yeah,
they look very interesting. So you do your models, and you can choose like classic construction or Verger. Is that the way it's going to work?
So theoretically, yes, but in practice, we don't do traditional construction anymore. We just want to do Verger construction, because we think it's a better product.
Nice,
and it's nicer for us to work with.
But it's definitely a better product.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for us to keep building EPS epoxy boards.
No, it's also not viable to do it here, to build epoxy boards. It's just too much work and
manual labor.
Like the way that you build epoxy boards is just the same way that people have been building boards for over the last 60 years. And for us, like we've been building it for over 10 years. So we've gotten like quite good at it. We're not like the little steps that are still there. Maybe we can get a little bit better and a little bit faster at them. But we're not getting twice as fast at something anymore.
Yeah.
And then if we do the calculations, like how many hours it costs and how much you can ask for a board, it's not gonna. No. It's like that's the reason why there's so many hobby shapers, because it's really, really hard to get to live from making surfboards. And with the Verger construction, there's a lot more that's going into into the machines.
The technical process.
The technical process, which takes away a lot of the manual labor, which also makes it much faster to make a board. Like you don't need that much manual labor anymore as on the traditional PU poly or epoxy board, which for us it makes sense to do.
Yeah, so it's a big investment in the machine, but we get that back in the time not spent in having to sand each board for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I guess you put those the labor in the research
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And you do that once, and then you can sort of make one board in less time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's fun that what's I think unique about this construction is that it's much more machine focused, but we can still do all the custom things.
Yeah.
So we can make every board custom, and we do actually.
Yeah.
We have actually now built 3 boards the same, but that was like a coincidence because all the other times each board is different, which is part of the fun as well for us.
Yeah. You can adjust all the machines, like also the one that makes the rocker.
Yeah.
You can just Verger, they made an app. You can on the iPad upload your board, and then it goes "Queep," and then it changes the rocker profile, and then you can make another board with it.
So the board bender is that a custom made machine for this specific?
Jack from Verger made it. I think he made it together with Harrison.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess these boards last a lot longer than a traditional board, but are they in a way a different price range as well?
So they're about 10% more expensive than the EPS epoxy boards that we were doing.
Okay.
And that's
which were quite cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we're now on average surfboard market price.
Yeah.
So which will be like maybe not even 800 euros for a short board. 700, 750 for a short board. Mid lengths are like somewhere between 850
and 1,000
to 1,000 euros.
Yeah.
A longboard, 1,300 euros.
Yeah. Which is like not the cheapest, but it's also definitely not the most expensive.
No, not at all. That seems pretty. I wouldn't say low, but it's totally reasonable. Like 750, 800 is what everyone charges for pop-out board.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for us, it also doesn't make sense to make them a lot more expensive because we just want to have as many people choose a more sustainable board over a less sustainable board.
Yeah.
And when you drive up the price too much, and it just becomes a niche product again. And I don't know if that's the nice approach.
No,
I think for us it's like we want to make these boards because they are more sustainable, and we feel like it's the way forward.
Yeah.
And so we want to make an impact as shapers, offering something different that is still as good, if not a lot better. But the only way to actually make an impact is to get the boards out there and have a lot of people surfing them and being a true alternative to traditionally made boards.
Yeah. And on top of that, I think people are very hesitant towards a new board, especially because it's wood in there. I think I surfed wooden boards before. I knew the Verger technology. Usually they're heavy or they're super stiff, and if we get a lot of these boards out, then people will feel them. And they also, every time people, like for us, it's the best marketing, just being somewhere with the boards and people picked up the boards and like, whoa, this is actually pretty light. And and we put them upside down, and then we stand on them, and then the deck touches the floor, and then everything goes like, and people were like, wow, this, and that's the only way that you can actually convince people that the boards are actually light and that they're actually strong and that they're actually flexible. And otherwise, you can tell people, but they'll be like, but it's a wooden board, so, and it looks heavy, so it's probably shit.
I've been hesitant towards EPS epoxy boards in the past because they feel like plastic to me. But these natural materials like the cork, the wood, I don't know, I've seen flax. I don't know what flax is, but it looks cool, It looks natural, I think. It's got a different
flax
feel.
is a natural fiber as well. Yeah.
So it's a lot more appealing to me, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, and this is like the boards that we're making are weight-wise comparable to PU poly. So the EPS boards we've been making so far, like the super light ones, they are a bit lighter, but they can. Some people describe it as a ping pong ball kind of feel.
Yep.
So there's people who love it, people who don't. But these are definitely not more heavy than the Verger are not heavier than a PU board.
Do they perform like a PU board, like sits a bit lower in the water, or does the cork make them super buoyant?
No, it's comparable to PU.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's got more flex, so you can feel it. It's a lot more lively.
A lot more, yeah. Jack, the guy from Verger, he describes it as the difference from jumping off a trampoline or jumping off a concrete floor.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because it really builds up all this flex as soon as you go down and hang in your bottom turn, and as soon as you come up the lip, go up the lip, then it releases all this energy back.
Yeah, I think the trampoline, you really feel it.
Yeah.
But you can only experience it too.
Yeah, you need to experience it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rad.
Yeah, and I think because of the like, there's also a reason why people use wood in skis, for example. It's just like the whole way that the wood flexes exactly, and it builds up the energy and releases it, but also has this kind of a very slight dampening factor in it, that it's not super springy, but it also kind of takes up like the little chops, and it takes up like the little the chatters that you don't want, and really smoothens out the line. Like the first time I rode the Freddy Fish that we were talking about, that I surfed so much, and then Jack made us one in his technology, and he sent him over from New Zealand here
as a first prototype.
And the first time I surfed it, I was like, whoa! It took like everything became like so much more calm in the water. Like it felt as if someone turned on like a low pass filter, and everything just like silenced out, and everything was like so much more smooth.
Wow, it sounds like foiling, but not as weird.
Yeah, like yeah, maybe a little bit. Like I was it's like it's not as foiling, but it's maybe a small step.
Yeah,
towards
the smoothness of foiling.
Yeah, the smoothness.
That sounds really cool. So what's your, if you could dream like 3 years ahead in time, what would be your goals with the Good Thanks brand?
I think there's gonna be like two kind of goals. Like we obviously going to build our brand, and then make the boards that we make now, like the whole friendly surfboards thing.
Yeah.
And just make that a little bit bigger and nicer.
Would be nice to be able to live from it.
Yeah, it would be nice to live from that. But also something that that Verger focuses on is making this construction available to other shapers. So we would also be making other shapers' boards, licensing them, and then paying them royalties, and then making more of the sustainable boards for other shapers to make it also available to a wider audience.
Yeah,
cool.
And in that way, also creating more of an impact.
So you would be like the factory in Portugal, Poland, like you have a big brands.
Could be,
yeah. Okay, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's maybe more like a 10-year plan, but definitely we're working on that. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
The main challenges with changing the whole surfboard, basically, is that you have to do it, and you have to make a better board. Performance-wise, you have to make a stronger board and a cheaper board.
Yeah.
And those challenges are more sustainable. And getting all those four things aligned, it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have tried or are trying and actually make also good products. Usually those products are replacing a single part of the production system. So maybe change the blank, or change the fibers that it's glassed with, or change the resin that is used. But like the way that Verger did it, like chop down the whole system that was already there and just invent a whole new way of making it. Yeah, that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's needed because, like you said, it's been the same for 50 plus years.
Yeah, like 70 years.
70
it's been
years, yeah.
exactly the same.
We recently we saw some black and white pictures from surfboard builders in California in the 30s or 40s. I looked at the pictures and he's doing this, and this guy's doing that, and this guy's doing that.
Yeah.
Like everything was super recognizable.
Maybe a bit later, but
and still the same.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, it still works,
Could have
but
been the 50s.
but it's a lot of waste and toxic.
Very toxic.
Very toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to get rid of all the waste and still make a product that's nice and surfable and light and fun.
Yeah.
Of course, you could make a board that is more sustainable than ours, but then the other challenges become a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The price. And the flex and the weight.
Yeah.
It's just too much compromising, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we feel like this is a good all-round solution that is like by design a rigorously different approach from how it used to be.
Yeah.
That makes it score so well on all these different topics.
Yeah. So if I would order a board, how long would it take you to finish it?
Around 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would have to look into that. I'll see.
Yeah.
check the bank balance.
Yeah. You can come pick it up and then you can surf the wave pool.
Yeah. Well, what model suits the wave pool? Is that anyone?
Just we did maybe it's not on the website yet, but it's the Turbo Splash 2000. we were thinking of a name that would fit on like a hot summer's day in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's like a super soaker.
Like a super soaker.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you have that over there in Sweden.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
They were like looked like this.
Like the big bazooka machine, the guns. Yeah, like a bazooka.
So that's a specific wave pool model.
Yeah, we designed it a little bit for the wave pool because the takeoff of the wave pool is pretty steep. And then you want to fit in a little turn right at the beginning already because the middle part of the wave is a little bit more flat. But then you also want to go over that middle part of the wave that not sink away. So there's a few little things that made the board the way it is.
So it's quite wide under the chest and quite narrow in the tail.
You have an early entry and then a narrow tail, so you don't get the back of your board like swooped up by the waves, and you have to go down the wave vertically, but you can take off a little bit more horizontal. But then have a lot of float still in the feather part of the wave.
Cool.
That's the idea.
Yeah, it sounds like a good model. You should do like a collab with the wave pool and rent them out.
Yeah. We're gonna sell a couple of those at the wave pool, hopefully.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I usually finish up with a little game I call Sometimes, Always, Never. It's really similar to another game, which you might have heard of, but this is where I name 3 surf spots, and you choose one that you could surf once and never again, one that you want to surf forever, and one of them that you don't care about.
Okay.
So the first spot, this is going to be weird, but it's always the beach where I'm at now. It's called Kåsa Strand here in Varberg, Sweden. You've never been, but it's a pretty shitty beach break. Like on its best day, it's maybe a 2 out of 5.
All right.
So,
it can get good, but once every 2 years, maybe. And I would say...
sounds like we have to surf that once.
Yeah.
You have to hear the options.
All right.
So the second option is the only Dutch break that I know of. It's Scheveningen. Did I say it right this time?
Yeah, Scheveningen.
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 With a
Okay.
Classic Dutch.
Gotta practice that one. And with the New Zealand connection, I would say Manu Bay and Raglan in New Zealand. I don't know if you surfed it when you were there, but no.
Haven't, no.
Too many people, maybe.
Love to.
Yeah. So those are the options. You chose to thrash Kosa right away. My beach.
I'd like to surf that once.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be
nice.
fun.
Yeah. You're,
I like
you're more than
the
welcome
weird,
to.
I like the weird spots.
So you have your kind of home break and the Kiwi break. You have to discard one of them and the other one forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the Kiwi break.
Huh?
I'll go through the Kiwi break forever.
Forever. Yeah, I think my answer is a little bit more ironic because then I would have to say that I never will surf the home break in Scheveningen in The Hague ever again. And then surf the Kiwi break, which will probably be my answer. But this year I'm moving actually to The Hague. So I will have to surf Scheveningen for the rest of my life.
Okay.
But it's always so crowded that I would also be happy to never surf it again.
You got to go the sunset sessions, like I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everyone's too tired, right?
I think also in Scheveningen, those are going to be pretty
I think
crowded.
the best sessions are like the 10 o'clock in the morning session, because then you're past the morning peak.
Yeah.
And then all the morning people who got up at 6, they're super tired, or they're at work.
Yeah.
It's called the gentleman's hour.
The gentleman's hour.
Yeah. It's the best
Yeah.
part. I'm going to do that tomorrow, I hope. We might get some waves tomorrow here. It's like the first one in weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds good.
How's the forecast for you guys down there? Looking good?
I haven't even checked. I'm a bit injured, so I don't want to know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit, but it's nothing crazy.
No, nothing major.
Just every day a little longboard waves, or maybe a little bit fishing waves.
It's too many boards to build, anyways.
Yeah.
It's good. No surf, more work.
Yeah.
Well, it was super cool to hear the story about your brand and the collab with Verdure and everything. And I hope it works out really good. I'm really keen to try one of the boards one day.
Cool.
And good luck with all
Always
of that.
welcome. Yeah. Nice. Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, and I hope to see you here at Kosa one day then. At the Shitty Waves.
If you let us know when the once in 2 year window is,
Yeah.
we'll drive up there.
Yeah, I'll let you know. It's like a 24-hour alert.
Oh yeah, okay. We
like-
can just make it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. It was nice talking to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you too.
Have a good one.